We are presenting the finalists now. The sixth place, that's Tymon Stafiński and Natalia Bernat. Tymon representing club Cliff Tarnowskie Góry in the South Poland. Natalia is representing UK Warszawa. The second couple that got to the final, this is Maja Cisielska, Krakow Trójmiasto, and Fedir Samoilov from Ukraine. Fedir came sixth last year, so he knows the competition. The third couple to come out, this is Marketa Janosova and Slava Krasnoperov. Yes, Fedir was sixth 2 years ago, my mistake. Next couple to come out, Barbara Wójcik and Ido Fidel. Ido came all the way from Israel. This is his first time in Poland to compete in that event.
And he won Studio Block Masters last year.
Yeah,
he's definitely an accomplished comp climber.
So he will want to show his best in front of the Polish crowd. Next couple to come out, Maja Oleksy, Jan Svent. Worth mentioning, Jan's performance in the first two rounds, the qualifications and semi-finals, was something to watch.
Beautiful style.
And that's his debut in the competition as well.
First time visiting the gym.
And the last one to come out is Bianca Janecka and Edward Gruzitis, and these are the, you could say, veterans. Edwards won the first edition of Mudmasters in 2023. He came fourth last year. Great boulders, but at the end of the day, you still have the climbers that need to top them out or need to perform well on them. But hey, we are on boulders number one. Tymon Stafiński, we can see him on the screen right now. And Natalia Bernat from Warszawa on the women's boulder on the far left side of the wall. We can already see that boulders. We will kick off with a very dynamic movement.
So I can give you a little insight if some of you haven't followed the semi-finals yesterday. I can build a bit of a background story. So as usually for semi-finals, we said the women's round and we said the men's round. And as far as the men's round went, I think we had a pretty good feeling for the level, and all problems got topped. You had the top three and good number of attempts to qualify for the final, which is good. But as far as women's setting went, we massively overcooked every single thing we set. So the total number of tops in the women's semi-final round was 3. We had 3 girls topping one problem each. It was problem number 4. And obviously that gave us a lot of information to think about, because we thought we had it before the round had started.
So it caught you by surprise. You did not expect such a hard round, right?
So one thing I can tell as our excuse, we held a national selection the week before Mood Masters, and we had most of the ladies competing in that national team selection, and they did well. They looked well on the boulders, they topped all the boulders, we set the boulders, so we had a feeling like we have a pretty good understanding of the ladies' level, and they looked like during the team selection event, they looked like they still had a little bit of juice left in them. So we thought, we can set a touch harder. And that touch harder turned out to give hardly any tops in the round. So obviously...
But still, I mean, it's still... there were 6 different results on top. So, the finalists are there. They were chosen.
It did render results.
Round.
But it wasn't a perfect round. And I think mentally it must have been very hard for the girls.
So would you say that if I were to ask you, what is the route setter's biggest nightmare?
What's the route setter's biggest nightmare? Oh my God.
Was that something
in my
like that?
case, well, to be honest, in my case, it would be a technical problem, like a hold falling off the wall, like a blatant
Yeah. So
If I blatantly overlooked something, like I put a hold on the wall but only used 2 screws or 1 screw, and then a competitor would like leap for the top and come off the wall with the hold in hand.
yeah.
That would be my worst nightmare.
Because I will, throughout the stream, I will keep asking you those questions. Because, like I said in the beginning, I mean, my hidden agenda is to bring, give you all the people who are watching the slight insight into root setters' heads. What is the process coming through their minds when they
I
set
think
competition?
it's a mixture of intention and chaos and improvisation. Like, I think root setters in general aren't particularly organized lot. I think the most creative setters I had the privilege of working with, they weren't the most organized ones. And it's about creating a good environment for the team to work in. Like you have to give them some space for being creative, which is always tricky.
Because you have to delegate. I mean, as a chief
But at the
setter,
same time, you have to have a pretty good understanding of what you want from the round to be able to delegate to particular tasks. Because if you just let 4 or 5 members of your team freestyle, you might end up with similar results in a way. Even though the pool of movement is massive, we always tend to go into certain patterns.
Yeah, let's just quickly break. Let's introduce the next climbers. We have Maja Ciesielska, Kawo Trójmiasto, North Poland, and we have Fedry Samoilov, came over from Ukraine. And we already had a glimpse of what the boulders are like.
Yeah, we had a glimpse, but not much more than that. I mean, women's number 1 is proven to be just about as hard, at least judging from the first competitor, just about as hard as yesterday's semi-final.
And on the men's, we can see that there's a complex movement.
It's
almost like a 1-2-3 move.
I think they. So Fedil was close the second try. He was reading. He read the sequence right. His first attempt, he tried to stop on the red hold, which kind of looks pink as I'm looking at the screen, but it's a red hold placed on the red volume. And he tried to stop the swing, but we made some effort to make it either impossible or very hard, and just in order to so that you continue with the movement and stop on the second yellow hold, which is the zone. Whereas with women's number 1, the case was to generate enough momentum to stop with your right foot on the white fiberglass hold placed on top of a red volume, while clutching the right hand crimp and placing a delicate left stop. It can either be a heel hook or a toe hook, but to be honest, if you get the position of the hips right and you don't have too much force coming into the position, you didn't really need that little clutch to stay in the position. But the thing with...
But tell me about the process when it comes to setting particular boulders. I mean, like for example, this number 1. I mean, when you have a team of root setters, would you say that there's one person responsible for a boulder like that, or you sort of the draft comes from one person, but then you test it?
Hardly ever.
As a team. How does it work?
It changes within the team. Some members prefer to work by themselves, and they can deliver like a problem they can deliver a draft that is very, very close to being an operational boulder. Some setters set a draft, but then it doesn't really work, and then more team members, they take part in the process, and then it really depends.
So when it
giving particular examples, number 1 and number 2, both number 1s, both of these problems have undergone significant changes from what they were in
the beginning. Okay.
Yes, in the test. Did you see?
She stopped. She
stopped, but this was because her position was perfect. She had just enough momentum to reach the hold.
Yeah.
But she didn't have too much of it, so she didn't even have to use the toe latch. So cool. This
Oh, that was close from
Yeah, no,
Fedor as well.
I'm really happy to
But
see
let's
this work
focus
for her.
on the Maya is doing really well. Let's cheer her up. There's only one move left, and we'll
Commitment.
see if she can do it.
Yes.
She did it. Very nice.
So amazing.
What such a precise movement.
So
because
amazing.
the
I'm
top-
so happy for her, man.
And that, yeah, she comes from,
actually happened
from
to-
where you live.
Yes, and
That's close, Fedor.
I'm not Maya's coach, but she comes to climb at my gym, and I try to support her climbing career as much as I can. Always keep my fingers crossed
Yeah.
for her. Really cool hip movement. So when he touches the red,
Fedor
hips
is
go
trying.
up.
The time
So
is gone.
Pay
so
attention to
unfortunately-
the movement. He applies force to the first hold. This gives him enough control of his body to generate the swing in the hips.
Yeah.
So the height is gained from the center of the body, and then he only repositions his arms on the yellow holds. But it's not so much an arm pull as it is a body swing, and it's all perfectly timed. And this is, I think, in
Oh,
me,
that
this is
shows how complex the movement is.
yeah, and this actually brings us back to your initial question. What do we want to achieve as route setters? I think you will always get a different answer depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But
As a changeover now, Marketa Janosova and Slava Krasnoperov already on the wall. You continue, tell me, because
I think you will always get different answers. But okay,
these two.
I try to create movement. I try to generate positions or to force the body to go in certain ways so that you have to commit into the movement. And the way your body is going to interact with the holds.
But at the end,
It's
end of the
generating
day,
something beautiful.
You never know if it's going to work.
But you see, it's
But
really
look at
hard to give an
Marketa.
answer to this question.
Because it's so complex, the issue, I know.
I think there are people who like holds,
Yeah.
like a specific type of hold, and they pick the hold, and they just want to like set it on the wall. Cool. But I think if you ask setters who have more experience with setting high-level competitions, I
Yeah.
think creating movement is higher on that list of cool
Look
things
at
to do.
Marketa. She's doing really well. By the way, these two in front of you, I mean, they like veterans of the competition.
Yeah, sure.
Marketa came second last year, and Slava was second last year as well, and also second 2 years ago. So these two, they know the wall very well, and.
So a little bit of insight on the women's zone hold, the white dish with a pocket inside. Don't be fooled into thinking it's a jug. It's a positive hold,
But it's not. It's
but
like
the way the hold is, the hole is shaped.
It's like horizontal.
Yeah,
it's not a jug.
it
Yeah.
works. It kind of works only in one direction, and it's good as you go into it from the previous position.
But then it
But as
stops to
soon
work.
as you
Yeah.
start gaining height on the blue foothold,
And hence
it's-
the extra step that you need to do in order
this
to
is-
generate the momentum.
This is the little nuance that forces the commitment move and just ramming your right foot into the hole. So Slava is not having a good time. I think he looks like he doesn't want to commit into that red hold.
And I know from the questions that some of the competitors were asked after the semi-final that some of the finalists, let's say, did not lose so much energy. Like Jan Svend, for example, his performance was extraordinary in the semi-final. But Slava said that he lost a lot of energy, that it was a hard round for him. So
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, competitors have better days and worse days and better times and tougher times
And it all accumulates, If
I,
you lose more energy, that was closer. If you lose more energy in the qualies, then obviously your performance in the semis will be affected. And the same with the semis. If you
certainly affected.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if always in a negative way. I mean, sorry, I know this is
come on,
contradictory. but
Marketa, this is her moment. There's 20 seconds.
yeah, hips
She
were
may not have-
too far to the left. she wasn't really going upwards. She swayed to the left, and as she put
She
the
is
left,
trying
the right
again.
foot,
She would have to go very fast.
very fast.
No, she
I mean,
won't make it.
It is a problem you can climb in 13 seconds if you know it. If you know precisely what to do. and where you- Yeah. So it would be possible to send it in 13 seconds, but
Okay, so their 4 minutes is up. Next couple coming out, Barbara Wójcik and Ido Fidel. Barbara from Poland, Ido Fidel from Israel. Ido, something to highlight, he was the only climber to top out boulder number 3 in yesterday's semi-final, which was a really powerful slopey moves, and none of the other
are you absolutely
semi-finalists.
certain about this?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he
He's
was
the only finalist who topped that boulder. I think the problem saw a top, but
I think he
earlier
was
in the round.
really.
So I
I'm
think
pretty
number
sure-
3 had 2 tops, but it's irrelevant.
Okay, it's irrelevant. I mean,
number 3 in the semis was a really hard block, and Ido was the only finalist who managed to top it.
Like I said before, that's his first time in Poland. He came over because he heard a lot of good stuff about this competition from his colleagues. We had climbers from Israel in the past 2 editions. Marcos Nimrod used to come, Jotas Ben Reuven in men's category. So he heard that it's a really nice comp. He decided to fly in, and he really enjoyed. But he said to me when I was chatting to him in the cafe before the final that he was not expecting such a difficult
Hard
qualification
qualifier.
round. He told me that whenever he can't top out all the qualifications boulder, he's worried that it might not be good enough. And luckily for him, it was good enough. I think he was lacking 4 boulders in the qualis, but still managed to qualify to the semis from a fairly safety spot. He came 8th or something in the qualification round. Barbara Wójcik trying to tackle the first sequence, and the dynamic.
She's got stiff legs. Sorry, I don't mean to take away anything from her, but the way she moves.
That was
slab,
close for Ido.
She doesn't really flow with her hips above her feet, and she sort of like bounces off the wall, and preferably you wouldn't want her just to move in one smooth motion.
Yeah, she's
Keep
taking
the
a lot
chest
of
straight and just follow the line of the wall, and
she's taking a lot of attempts as well.
I think it's a little case of one of those movements that when someone executes it, it looks so easy.
Oh, she did. Look at that, and
She has
did
different
it
style. She did it
slightly different than Maketa. Ido almost got it. His legs still need to land on the volume higher up. You can see Barbara doing well, and let's see if she can do the extra step.
Oh,
I don't think she hit the
she
right
didn't.
spot with her foot.
The timing was slightly off.
She will have enough time to try again. Guys, we already kicked off the comp. I'll just mention who the main judge of the competition is. Is Patryk Bugański. He's making sure that everything happens according to the rules of the competition. We also have other judges, Magdalena Opioła-Zawada and Maciej Orłowski, who are judging the boulders. And among the sponsors of the competition, there are companies like Black Diamond, T-Wall, the manufacturer of the wall, and also the brewery Trzech Kumpli. We can try their beers in the cafe. We had a chance to try them during yesterday after party, after the semis. But also companies who supported the competition are companies Tricamp, On Lemon, Agrest, Heartbeat Clothes, Mano, Warapo, Szkoła Komedii, Miejsce Komedii, Oshi. We have Ido sticking the first sequence to the zone, and now there's only one dynamic monster move to the top. Let's see if he can pull it off. He's trying to get the momentum, deciding whether to use just 1 foot or 2. He will go from 2, and there it is. We have a top on boulder number 1, Ido Fidel. Definitely something, the result he expected, and he can safely head to the isolation zone to relax now. This definitely gives him an advantage, psychological advantage for sure. He must know that this is the first stop in the competition, otherwise he would hear people cheering before. So he's happy, he's coming back. And we will welcome now the next couple of climbers, Maja Oleksy and Jan Svend. He managed to stick the top without the foot, which shows us how strong his contact power is. And we have Maja and Jan already waiting for the clock to start. 4 minutes for them. I did say already that Jan's performance in the first 2 rounds was something to watch. He stormed through the qualification round with a top score. He had 19 tops and an extra zone, which was very close to an ideal score. And then in the semis, he was coming out last, and he still maintained very calm and flashed the first 2 boulders in the semis. So hardly used any energy, and eventually failed on boulder number 3, but topped out boulder number 4, and that put him in today's final. So he's probably one of those climbers that saved most of the energy for today's final because of his effectiveness in the previous rounds. Maja was close to a good performance on boulder number 1.
She did perform some really nice body work on the way to her failed top attempt. Super cool footwork.
Whoever follows the local Polish bouldering scene, Maja is a daughter of Tomasz Oleksy, one of the most experienced and also well-known Polish climbers, who's still one of the top Polish route setters at the time. So it's not a coincidence that Tomasz's daughter is doing well. She definitely received a lot of training advice and sort of mentorship from her father. And
yeah, slow motion.
Lead by example, yeah. She's doing really well. And can she execute this last move with an extra step? She did.
Open 3 fingers.
It was perfectly timed, and it was just enough, those 3 fingers, to stick the top. So very, very well done. And I think it was fairly. She didn't use many attempts.
Maybe fourth try.
Yeah,
I think it was 4th attempt.
Really good effort for Maja. So now all focus on Jan.
She's famous for her slab skills. Probably worth mentioning.
And a bit less than 2 minutes for Jan Svend. Uka Warszawa. He almost managed to stick.
Tricky.
Is it possible? Did you guys try it like that?
Yes, we tried it. We tried it with a larger volume, and then we replaced the large volume for a smaller volume, and then we had a feeling that it was going to be possible, but it still hasn't been done.
You would have to kick the foot in the right spot as well. That would have to be. This is really good.
Go this way.
I think it went through his head now that this is the way to do it.
This is so tricky. Sometimes you set a sequence that works really well, but if if competitors misread it and they go in the wrong direction, there is nothing they can do, and they keep on trying the wrong way. Like I know there isn't such a thing as wrong and right, but just as route setters, we sometimes want to keep some options off, and this would actually be right to call such a thing wrong.
He now I think the difference now, he believes that he can do it. And you can see how much the head helps. I mean, because he knows
his body was a little bit too far to the right. I think it really helps if you kill the force landing on the volume while catching yops. And now his legs,
gonna happen for him,
it would be better if the legs were further to the left. So he would be able to stop having both holds and his left foot on the volume.
No top for Jan. And we have a last couple to come out. Bianka Janecka from
Yeah,
Krakow,
last
Częstochowa. Edward Gruzitis from Latvia. Edward, he is a mood master from 2 years ago. And he was trying to defend his title last year. He only came fourth, so close to the podium. He's coming back for the third year in a row. Let's see if he can do well this year. Bianca came fourth last year, so just below the podium.
Not too much space for your fingers in that little slot.
It
looks like a lot. It looks like a lot, but the distance you have to cover in this one movement.
So tell me about that's also done on purpose, right? You block sometimes top holds to make it.
Yeah, sometimes we block them to actually make them hard to grab, to decrease the surface of the hold. That works. And sometimes we do it just to introduce a bit more confusion.
So you need to be precise.
Just to set climbers off balance.
Yeah.
Like they can't stay in too much control. If the setting is mostly oriented on on strength.
Yeah.
A lot of people have control in their strength, and this is their comfort zone. So I think the role of route setters is introducing as much sort of risk and insecurity into the movements that can be climbed in the given time, so 4 minutes. Like obviously the problems aren't ridiculously hard, because if they had unlimited time to climb them, like a lot of people would climb them. But the whole trick is to climb them fast, without consulting with anyone else. Nice.
Wow, Bianca.
That's cool.
So you have to be effective. I mean, 4 minutes is not much. You know, how many attempts can you do in 4 minutes? Let's be honest. So
well, you can probably have about 5 attempts to get the zone.
Look how easily Edwards just grabbed this sequence, and now he's thinking whether he should use the both feet or just the left one.
Yeah,
he's going from the both.
He's gonna do it because he's committed.
No problem.
Yeah.
So Edwards stays, let's say, puts himself in a really good spot.
He's in a good
ahead of the next 3 boulders.
Yeah.
He can relax. You can see he's smiling. So he's heading to the isolation zone, and we can all move on now to boulders number 2. Once the cameras will shift, I'll let you. We will have the live results now, the current results after boulder number 1. Okay. So we can already see who's leading, and we should see the results for the women as well. But this is still early through the competition, so that's affect to change. There's another 3 boulders. We will have a glimpse of boulders number 2 in a second. I'll let you tell us a bit more.
Obviously, it wasn't intended to set it exactly as suggested by the chief, but I think we managed to get the sequence that we wanted, more or less.
Good. So that's history. Now let's move to boulders number 2. Again, dynamic sequence in the men's, and let's see on the boulder for women. It's Natalia Bernat and Timon in front of us. Some more powerful moves and the overhanging wall for the women. And
switching styles.
Give us some insight, Kuba, about each of those boulders. What was the idea?
Well, the idea for the men's was really complicated because it was sort of dependent on what gets achieved with the women's line. So it wasn't a fully independent line. And as far as women go, the problem took a few drafts, but generally we wanted to have a powerful problem testing ladies' strength, and it's probably worth saying that it's a little tricky with this type of hold because they are pinches, and it's not hard to guess that pinches sort of depend, like how good you can grab a pinch depends on the size of your hand. And since we didn't have any ladies on the setting team, we did have some testers, so can't say we actually received enough help, and we could assess the actual difficulty for this block for the ladies. As we can see now, the help we got was pretty accurate. But as you move up the rail, the pinch gets harder and it becomes a sloper, which is also a bit tricky. And then the positioning of that undercling is completely off to where your body is right now. Yeah, because the body is to the right, but you have to apply force from the left underside to be able to get the pinch. And now it's all in the left foot. Yeah. So like, if you campus the upper pinch and place a right heel hook, but you come into the left hand undercling, unless you go down with your feet onto the rail that you were starting from, it's really hard to use the undercling because your body is somewhat different. So that was if you have enough power to spare, then you can look for the position because it's not very risky. Like men's boulder is about timing.
And was it again that you sort of someone came up with a draft and they worked all together about twisting it a little bit, or was it?
They have undergone massive changes.
Okay.
I think.
So it's a process.
Yeah, it's always a process. I mean, I think some original idea was kept with the men's for sure. Though, if I'm fully honest, I'm not even sure which draft was mounted first. I think it was the men's, and then on top of the men's, we
really
had
nice
women's.
progress for Natalia.
Yeah, she's doing really well. I was just saying.
Was she on the zone?
Well,
she's just about to get into the zone.
The trick with the zone is you have to apply force from the left underside into it to make it happen. And since she was hooking the right heel.
You can see how small the top is on the boulder number 4.
Oh, it's a jug.
Is it?
on a slab, it's a jug. Even as an undercling.
We got the second couple of climbers on boulders number 2. Maja Ciesielska from Trójmiasto. Fedir Samoilov from Ukraine. And tell me, again, I will keep pushing these questions about route setting. So tell me about Alexander, who is the chief setter. I mean,
he's a legend.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
That's probably the first thing worth mentioning.
For those of you who maybe are not familiar with the Polish route setting circuit, Alexander is one of the most experienced setters on the circuit, and like I said before, one of the very few who have the IFSC qualifications, so to speak, to route set international competitions. And Kuba, you as a route setter yourself, what does it take to be a great route setter? I mean, in your opinion, because not everyone.
Not every super strong climber can be a good setter.
And not every setter could be a good chief setter as well, right? That's what I'm trying to say here. I mean, because you can be a great setter, but being a chief setter, that sort of implies a more versatile set of skills. I mean, because you're not only setting, you're not making you're being given the, let's say, a task and you deliver a great problem, but you need to overlook the entire round, for example. The whole responsibility lies in you, basically. I mean, at the end of the day, if something will not work out,
you're the first person that's going to get the blame.
Because ultimately, chief setter is the one that, let's say, gives the final go ahead. This boulder is complete. We leave it this way.
He's calling the shots.
He takes the responsibility to leave something on the wall.
If he's a good chief, then he does take the responsibility.
Exactly. I mean, that comes with with the position. Fedir managed
the zone.
to stack the
Yes.
zone.
Buff. Oh,
And
He,
this is the movement. I mean,
he
I know
botched
the
it.
movement. I've seen that movement in the past. It's like a simultaneous push on the volume with catching a side pull. So you really need to fire yourself high up in order to get into that position that both points of contact work.
as I was expecting, it's fairly difficult to have 100% accuracy on the first sequence of M2. It's a move that you get
Yeah, you can see
when
it.
you move well and you have a bit of luck.
Very nice.
Still,
he
yep.
managed to give himself a second chance on this, trying.
Yeah, mounting holes, they're a nightmare.
So this is the position. He's really trying to do it static. Oh my god! And it looks promising. He managed to.
Yeah,
It-
he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Is he
Though
gonna reach it?
does-
He did.
Oh man, like that is
But that's,
really thinking outside the box.
Eye-opening, really.
I think most of competitors, once they make it into that position, it's going to be fairly obvious that they're intended just to like leap up in the air
But
and
that shows the experience as
push
well.
and pull
To
at the
be
same
able
time.
to,
Yes.
throughout the 4 minutes, which is not much in the first place, to be able to change.
and back into
Ideas,
the original.
but look at
Oh,
this.
mate.
That was so close for Fede, and he will try again, although 10 seconds might not be
Yeah,
enough.
it's a fast boulder.
It is
he
a
still
fast
has a
boulder.
chance.
He would have to match in that time.
Plenty of swinging in the
3
beginning.
seconds.
3 seconds. Oh no. I think he was on the starting hold for a second too long.
But
Should have swung one less.
But we know a little bit more about the boulder. We almost see it's
He got
being
close.
done.
Yeah, this was really
it
close.
can be done, and let's see the next couple of climbers coming out. Marketa Janosova from Czech Republic. She's representing the club Baník Karviná, TJ Baník Karviná. She usually climbs in Brno in a bouldering gym called Hangar. And from what I've heard, she likes to climb on pockets. I'm not sure if she will see a lot of them in this final. I haven't seen many pockets yet.
There is a pocket.
Is there one?
Yep.
So,
One.
so she
There is a pocket.
She's probably looking
on the men's
forward
problem.
to that sequence then on the men's boulder.
On the men's boulder.
Oh, it's not
yeah,
gonna happen for her
yeah.
then.
I mean, enough
Look at
now. You will
Slava, that's when I
quickly
talk
progressing.
about effectiveness. Slava managed to do that
Yep,
very
good
quickly. Look
timing.
how
precise control.
Slava Krasnoperov.
Yeah.
I will just remind you guys that he has been second for 2 years in a row. So his appetite is to finally win the competition. We will see whether he will pull it off this year, but that puts him in a really good spot ahead of the next 2 boulders, because that was a fairly quick attempt. So it must have been maybe a second go, because I'm not sure, but we will see that on the results. But that was a fairly quick, really good attempt. So that puts him a little bit closer to the result he would expect. Very nicely.
Not fully in control. I think he was sliding off the volumes as he was moving sideways. So it's interesting because he must have generated so much force with his arms going from the starting handhold that even though his feet were slipping, he was still moving along the wall.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask you about regarding the route setting, and it's almost impossible not to think about last year. You've been part of the team last year as well. Like I said, the team was pretty much the same last year, and this year. So you must have on the back of your head the scenario that took place last year. And for those of you who did not see the last year's final, the men's final turned out to be quite hard round. We didn't see many tops, especially the last 4th boulder that was on the slab. I mean, on the vertical slab part of the wall where the second boulder right now that we're watching for men's is. And that boulder from last year, I remember it was a very technical feet movement, a complex feet movement on a very bad volumes, which was very tricky. Did you think at all about, let's say, not to take that risk this year? Because that was, from my point of view, that was a fairly big risk to knowing that they only have 4 minutes to present them with a very complex feet movement on bad volumes. And we didn't see many tops there. I think there was only Slava's top on boulder number 4, or maybe 2 tops, but it was a difficult boulder. This year, did you think that perhaps the point I'm trying to make, did you, knowing what happened last year, did you try to take less risks this year?
Well, interesting, because as you were asking the questions, I was trying to think how I'd answer it. Overall, yeah. Overall, most of all, we wanted to avoid last year's scenario where we had very few tops. But when it came to making specific decisions, we hardly ever said, "Oh no, let's not repeat last year's scenario."
It's almost it's like impossible overall, not to think about it.
When thinking of the whole round, we had it like, okay, it cannot, by no means, it can be as hard as last year, because it was just too hard. But when we were making the decisions regarding specific sequences or difficulty of particular problems, we were like, is this good? Yeah, this is good. Is this good? No, this is too hard. Is this good? Yeah, let's make it easier, and like no one was making references to the last year. But I think in the back of our heads, each team member
these references must have been present there.
Absolutely.
We have changed over Barbara Wójcik and Ido Fidel. So we've seen Ido topping out boulder number 1. Let's see if he can carry on the momentum. Barbara as well, very composed first attempt. Fingers crossed for her. She's moving along that big pinch, and this is looking really good for Barbara, very controlled. And this is the last movement. There we go, Barbara flashing boulder number 2. What an effort.
Almost effortless.
Barbara Wójcik.
Yeah.
And everything changes in this competition so quickly.
Fantastic.
Early on in the comp still, but we have some tremendous efforts from in both men and women category.
Oh, beautiful.
Ido learning the movement very quickly. He knows exactly what to do.
That was a foot slip.
His foot slipped.
Yeah, he knew what to do, but it was a foot slip.
He will try in a moment, but he knows the first sequence now, so it should be enough time for him to execute that once again and give him a chance.
Big commitment for Basha,
out.
the last move. Top hold, a sloper. Penultimate hold, a slopey crimp.
Yeah.
Beautiful rail for the feet, but still, it's not a particularly controlled position, and you want to get out of it as soon as you can.
I'll tell quickly who's promoting the comp as well. We have the media partners, the most popular climbing portal Spinanie.pl in Poland, transmitting the event live as well on their YouTube website. Ido Fidel, there we go, second top, and he's putting himself in the lead. After 2 boulders, he is a happy bunny. You can see he's smiling. So halfway through the competition, he has 2 tops in the bag. Coming back to the isolation even more confident, and he can now rest and get ready for boulder number 3.
Certainly, if you win one international comp, you enter everyone that follows with a lot more self-confidence, but also a lot of self-expectation.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be a tricky one to play around.
Another media partner of the comp is Radio Krakow, who's been also promoting the competition. But the streaming live is being done by the YouTube Mood channel, but also on the Facebook Mood as well. There should be a link to the live transmission. And who's responsible for the lights, the beautiful lights that we can see on the venue? Manufaktura Dźwięku is responsible for making
Oof.
sure that all the show that we're watching is in a bright light. The music, person responsible for the music throughout the event, Maciej Dobrzański, is playing right now the music in the background. But throughout the entire qualification, which started on Thursday already and went through Friday, Saturday, there was a whole bunch of people that were playing the music. They called Outpost Collective. So different DJs were making sure that the proper right vibe was there for the people to cheer them up while climbing. And we can see Maja Oleksy, Jan Svent.
They both are having a hard time.
Well,
Jan, he can't really get his feet to stick to this steep volume. Passive left foot right now, this attempt. This attempt looked good, but I think you have to utilize both of your feet.
You still need to
legs
to learn
more than
the
just feet. And Maya's she's gripping the thing too wide. Like, I think all the girls that stuck the first move on the women's
that zone
problem.
On men's, that zone, is it a jug or is it like a side pull, positive side pull?
It's a decent hold.
Okay.
It's a hold you could find on level 2 in a Boulder gym, but never against such a steep volume. Yeah. And never as a undercling. I mean, in Japan, this position could be found maybe on level 3, but in Europe, not in this position. So Maya's left hand was far to the left, and as she catches the right hand pinch, I think her arms are stretched sort of too wide apart to control the swing, and she's letting go of the left hand, and then it's like impossible to control. I think if her left hand went a little bit closer to the right end of the lower hold, she would increase her chances of sticking the hold. Though it's easy to tell from, sitting in a commentator's booth.
Exactly, and they have limited time to learn that, and
it's another interesting way. So this is something that we haven't really
But he did
about.
this so well, this attempt. You could see that everything just fell into place. Now his foot slipped
this is
as well.
Crazy. I think what happens is there is very narrow space between the zone hold for the guys and the foot hold that they're generating the direction
it's
upwards from.
fairly close.
And I think the moment they have enough height, the foot pops off the foothold because of the edge of the handhold.
Yeah, so it
So
shows
the position of your body changes, and suddenly things get in the way.
And these are the from a resetting point of view, when you were placing that footstep, that was intentional, right? To put it in a place that would make it, these small bits. Because if that footstep was perhaps 10 centimeters to the right, it would be too easy. Already,
10
right?
centimeters is like...
a mile.
Is a mile, yes. Yes. We usually measure distances by fingers. So if you want to move a hold a little bit, you move it by half a finger. And most of climbers and setters have thick fingers. So
and that can make all the difference, right? This small twist would change, can change the boulder completely.
But hardly ever anything gets moved by more than 3 fingers in any direction. Like 3 fingers off. If you have a functional draft and you move something by 3 fingers, it usually changes completely. Like a dyno becomes a reach, and a reach becomes a jump, and then a toe hook becomes impossible for women. There are all these little dimensions and nuances you have to take into account. And
Bianka Janecka, Edward Gruzitis, and there are 4 minutes on the second boulders.
Cool, and she read it right.
Very composed for Bianka. Can she know this?
Yeah,
you can see how controlled the moves are. Can she pull the last move? She's gonna have to jump there.
Oof.
easily.
Yeah, no
Amazing
problems
effort.
at all. That looks
Flash,
easy.
flash for Bianca. Edward is still learning the first bit of the problem, but amazing effort from Bianca. That makes the second half of the competition even more interesting.
So you were asking earlier, what is the role of a route setter and how do we make decisions? We operate according to guidelines given by the organizer of the event. If the gym wants to have a fun cup, like Easy Riders, which is going to happen very soon, then obviously the setters have to set accordingly to that format.
But in order to have a more serious camp,
So everyone
You-
wants to have fun.
I mean, both
An
comps,
event like this
I would
one?
say both comps are serious, right? But maybe they are serious for different kind of competitors.
I think they vary in the level of seriousness because people that compete in amateur competitions don't really take climbing as seriously as people who, for instance, have sponsors and are, trying to make money, or people that we are watching now, they have climbing is their career. That this is the main goal in life, they take part in international competitions and such.
Yeah, for some of them.
So I
definitely.
think it has a somewhat more serious
Element to it.
to it. Yeah. But it was a bit of a sidetrack. And then when we are setting a competition like this one, I think I just want to have cool moves on the wall, innit?
Yeah, because this is
That's what we want.
That's why this discussion is so interesting, because depending on the place you, so to speak, sit. There we go. Edward's looking on the perfect spot to top out. There we go. We have another
Fantastic.
top in this finals, and now
Moving on to number
we will
3.
move to boulders number 3. However, I had received some information before the finals that there may be a short, really short break in order to adjust the lighting to boulders number 3 and 4, because the lamps may have to be moved slightly, so there may be a short break, but that's a perfect situation for us to take a look at the results. There's a small
It's
mistake.
this year's edition. In case any one of you found a typo, it's 2025.
2025, not 2024.
We're going live, yeah? This year.
But this is happening right now. We don't know the results on the next two boulders.
Yeah. Pay no attention to it.
Yeah. So bear with us, stay with us. There might be 2 or 3 minutes break to move the lights, and we will kick off on the boulder number 3. But I'll come back to this interesting discussion. Depending on where you sit, whether you're an organizer, or whether you're a route setter, or whether you're a competitor, or perhaps a spectator, your expectation.
Thing with competition blocks, they have to require a certain element of commitment, and once you commit into a movement, you shouldn't be able to go back into the position you were in before, because then the competitors would never leave the starting position until they had full control of what's happening, because they don't want to lose an attempt.
Yeah,
and
so
in the end, I think this is what it comes down to. Like, it doesn't have to be jumps, but they have to be committing moves.
So once you commit, there's no way out. You either go through with it, but you can't come back.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you can come back, but you will end up on the mats.
Honestly, you can play it however you want, but that they have to. There shouldn't be an easy way out of a position. Timon is doing really
Timon
fine.
is
on
doing a
block.
nice feet sequence on the slab on boulder number 3.
So this, as far as I know, this suits his style as well.
And this is a really precise movement as well to the top. He will go both hands, you reckon, or just one? Just one. Oh, he had it.
he almost had it, and I can give you a little insight. He had it with the wrong hand. He would be better off going with the left, as
so
your right foot is the one that stays on the black foothold.
I see.
And then if you control the top with the left hand, your body is in balance.
So this is one of those really small, tiny.
It's one of the silly. It's
tricks,
one of the little details
that makes all the difference.
That makes a lot of difference. Yeah. So I can say that I set both of these blocks, actually. I set M2 and M3, so I'm currently going a bit of a nervous
thing. But we can see that the men's boulder is proving to be interesting to watch, and the movement from Natalia, very well done. I know, and I've seen you guys trying the movement, and there was a lot of
discussion about
question marks whether this triple is too hard for the women. But as we can see, it's not. It has been done, and Timon again, he's going with the right again. He went with both hands.
I mean, assessing the difficulty of a triple paddle dyno as a male.
For women,
it's one of the harder tasks.
But I mean, well done, guys. But well done.
There are certain signs that there are good signs. Okay, so she found a nice rest position. Still a minute to go.
Yes, unfortunately the clock.
As you can imagine, the size of the. As you can imagine, the sides of the white volume in the upper part of the block are slippery. So it's only the underside
that has some friction there.
That has friction, and intentionally this was still meant to be.
So I think
she's
trying to lift the foot so she can press with the. Yes. So that's also slippery. So she ends up on the mats.
Good try though.
With 40 seconds to go, she may try again. Although you can see that she's tired.
Judging by the body language, she's not.
And Tim on the other hand. For him, it's just the precision. He doesn't seem to be losing energy up to this point, and this is just the precise movements. He went with both, with the right first, and well done for Timon, topping out first top on the men's boulder number 3.
And he is actually good at slabs.
Yeah. So guys, I can that comparison to last year, that sort of thing that was in the back of all your heads as root setters, it's gone. This bad dream is gone, right? We are
early to tell.
But we are witnessing. We are witnessing a lot of tops.
I think we have more tops than previous years.
And I wouldn't say that the boulders are too easy. I mean, they are struggling, competitors. So well done, guys. I mean, it looks promising. But let's wait for the final results.
As always.
So to speak,
as always, yes.
Because, like I said, the clearly distinguished first, second, and third place. This is the goal. I mean, this is something that the root setters aim for, to have a clear winner, clear runner-up, and the third place. And ideally, the winner would top all of the boulders. Then the second place would have 3 tops, and the third place would have 2 tops. So this is the wet dream of a root setter.
It's a good scenario, but I actually stopped considering this as a perfect outcome. I think there are plenty different ways of having a competition that gives perfect results. Like another one I can think of is a round where all the problems get topped,
but in different attempts
by different athletes. And then you have someone who topped 3, and then you have another person that topped maybe 2, but did a block that no one else did. And
I get what you mean.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a more complex, but I think it adds up to the spiciness of the comp.
Yes, and it's a little bit more unpredictable that way. I think because I sometimes chief competitions as well, not the same format as this one, but also I do chief quite big comps. And I've been aiming for this goal of having the winner gets them all. And then we did that a few times. And then I started thinking, I want to spice it up, you know. I'm tired of having this like, okay, the winner gets them all, and then second place gets 3 tops and whatnot.
So twist up the difficulty a little bit, but
and
choose the more versatile climber perhaps, who will do 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 4. But let someone else do this one because that's his style, for example.
Yeah.
I get your point.
Have that, you know, just have some randomness in the round.
Yeah, but
because at the end of the day, we have very good intentions and we're trying really hard to make it perfect, but there is some unpredictability and certain slight amount of randomness.
Let's see Maya,
how they
who's also getting very close to that
well, she's
position
not very good on her foot.
where Natalia was
so it's
a moment ago.
So it's crucial to place your left foot on the white
inside. I mean,
volume. Yeah. That corner is actually quite cozy.
Oh, look, she managed to do that.
Yes.
Very well,
Awesome.
Maja Ciesielska.
Turned
so
directions.
A drop knee was the way for her. The left
it's either
drop
a
knee.
left foot, left leg drop knee or right leg drop knee. And within the setting team, we tried both of the versions,
and
we had varying opinions on which one's better.
And this feed sequence that Fedir is doing, was that an intended beta for that boulder?
Yeah.
To go across, right?
There is actually no other way you can do it.
Okay.
The little nibbles that you're standing on.
There's no way to match your feet there. So you need to go across, right?
It would be quite unpleasant. And there is no reason to do it, because if you look at the sequence of the boulder,
so you want to be with your left
perfect
foot.
You can either cross or swap feet twice.
And this transition here, that's
hips close to the wall and momentum in the
very nice.
So left part of the hip has to transfer in one smooth movement.
Fedir going with the left.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the time is up for him.
Lost.
Unfortunately,
lost
he
a bit of tension
pull it
as
off.
he
because he had enough time to match the top.
He would have,
Yeah. Something did not.
He just didn't have the tension in the body. Yeah.
Marketa Janosova and Slava Krasnoperov. Boulders number 3.
Slava is good at slabs. I dare to say a quick one.
Yes, he's
quick top for him.
We did mention that's one of the most experienced climbers. Competed here 2 years in a row. We keep coming back.
Not only did he compete, but he placed second
twice. Yes, I did mention that before, and I'm sure he would want to win for the first time.
What's interesting is how the male competitors are putting the left foot on the starting volume, so close to the wall, and it's tricky. Like it's a position that's uncomfortable for tall climbers, because you may not know this, you may not see this in the footage, but the wall has a diagonal line going sort of in the middle across it. And the first part of the wall is a slab where the feet are, but the handhold and the M3 sign are slightly overhanging. And if you're a tall climber, the overhanging is pushing you off the volumes.
Okay, I
and
get it. Yeah,
an inch difference in your height makes a big difference in how you...
I would say from this point of camera view, you probably can't see it, but it can be, it can damage your body position slightly. Okay.
But the intention was to move... Oh, his shoes are wet? No, they can't be wet. It would make no sense if they were wet, but the soles are perfectly black, as if he...
What is he holding on to? I mean,
what is he holding on to?
Yeah.
It's a Cheetah Volcano non-existing handhold.
Non-existing handhold.
The handhold is really bad, but it's very helpful to have it and use it in a good way.
In the meantime, Marketa is launching for the first movement. Getting familiar with what happens to the body when you just shoot off for the first volume. And in the meantime, look, Slava, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
This is
So I think the
this
few
is
attempts he
experience.
lost, they may cost him a lot.
He maintained calmness till the end. Something I saw some
Grime
grime on his face, as if
Yeah.
something hurt him. We will know in a moment whether something happened to his finger, perhaps. Don't know. Let's fingers crossed, nothing serious. And now focus on Marketa. Marketa manages. I had a chat with Marketa before the final. He hasn't done a lot of climbing outside. She told me that she would want to travel more to climb outside. She managed to climb Boulder grade 8A. But when asked what she would want to do, she would want to do more traveling and visit some bouldering areas. She's only 20 years old, so fairly a young competitor from Czech Republic. Let's cheer up. Last 10 seconds, perhaps the zone, it's not gonna happen for her. So the clock is up, she heads up to the isolation, and we are welcoming Barbara Wójcik and Ido Fidel.
Yeah, it's a little thing I thought it's interesting to point out. Sometimes we fall victims to this approach. Oh, I'm just trying one move. I don't need so much rest. I'm failing. This is only one move I'm trying. I can have another go, and I can have another go. And then you end up having 20 goes within the span of 5 minutes. And it turns out that you should have rested a full minute in between having each failed attempt.
And you would have a proper.
The thing is, when you have to
explosion.
give everything,
Yeah.
you have to recover after a failed attempt. Maybe this is something that applies to more working like an outdoor project, but still, even if it's just one move, but it's proper hard, then you always should take a
You can see the composure on Ido Fidel's face. Ido's nickname is Zizu. He told me that's what his friends call him in Israel. So let's cheer for Zizu. The last movement, can he pull it off and put third top in his bag? Not yet. Not yet. He will try again. But he can feel it's close. So there's no surprise. I don't think he may be surprised on this boulder by anything. He just needs to execute the perfect sequence, and he will be able to have the third top under his belt. Let's see.
He's got plenty of time.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes. This is
he was really smooth.
It's a fairly short boulder. Yes, it doesn't require too much time on a successful effort. Basia was so close to stick the zone.
Well, it's interesting. It's a short, relatively short boulder, but
the movement is slow.
Little changes were making it so much harder. That in the end,
he's there. He's there again. He's not gonna think too long. He's going for it, and he's got the third top. So Zizu Fidel put himself in a great position before the final boulder. I'm starting to get a feeling that it's gonna be down to the attempts. As you said.
Problem number 4.
Tell me about problem number 4. In brief, it's a hard one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, number 4 is the hard problem. Yeah.
So it will unfold soon for all of us. But let's focus now on Barbara. She's trying to get into this position that would allow her to get from under this huge wide volume to the top. It looks so good for her. She hasn't matched. She has not matched the top.
No match on the top. Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker for her. You can
Yeah,
see she will be back,
definitely.
but it must have cost her a lot of energy. And
Yeah,
one
and this was
minute,
the first time she stuck the dyno as well.
she almost had it. She decided to match the
Yeah.
final hold without grabbing the, let's say, the proper part of the hold. She trusted her body position, which
Yeah, but the thing is, the top hold is quite far to the left, to the right,
And
sorry,
then-
and it's like straight above the foothold, so you don't really have so much
look how.
stability in it.
But it can still happen for her. I mean, she quickly got into this position again, so it shows how the body memory. She learned the move very quickly, and she's already there again. Look, she can pull it off, and there it is for her. Well
Yes.
done, Barbara Wojcik. A proper mindset of a competitor, going from all the way down to a huge success. Let's say 20 seconds
Little fist
later.
bump with Jan.
Yeah. Amazing,
fully
amazing
focused.
performance for Barbara. Very strong mindset to come back from this mental, let's say, I wouldn't say breakdown, but this mental failure to a success a few seconds later. Amazing.
Yeah.
That was this
Modern day bouldering is all about these little
Yeah.
mental breakdowns and resilience at the end of the day.
Exactly, and that's
You get your ass kicked,
that's-
but you get up and just do your thing.
and you keep falling and you keep falling, you keep standing up again and again and again, and Maja Oleksy and Jan spent 4 minutes for them. I can't wait for the provisional results after boulder number 3, because that will tell us a lot as to where we are before the final boulder. Jan slipped, his left foot slipped.
It's really tricky. It may look like it's nothing when you watch someone who's this strong as these guys, but honestly, there was so little margin for error walking these volumes that
And Kuba, I will interrupt you. I must say again, and that's kudos for this triple on the women's boulder, because it clearly works, and there was amazing effort from Maja.
I found it easy.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes, she found a way through the boulder very quickly. Because I remember this the amount of discussions about the sequence on the dynamic sequence on number 3 was huge among route setters, but it turned out really well, and it's not too far, it's not too easy, it's not too hard. It just works.
It's always, it's at the end of
Perfect.
the day, it's only you have the feeling that you can, like you have feeling which you then set against your experience, and then based upon this you have to make a decision.
But isn't at the end of the day, isn't experience that it's uncertain, but it turns out to be the right decision at the end of the day, and that's what makes great setters. That they somehow know that this is where the hold should stay, and we leave it the way it is.
Yes.
And we're not gonna change anymore.
And you just get like an occasional epic.
And you just and you watch and you hope.
Yeah.
and you put all your hope in the hands of the climbers that they will.
I mean, what certainly helps a lot is knowing who you're setting for.
Oh, that's definitely
knowing the names of the people that will appear in the final is half the story, honestly.
You need to adjust the difficulty rating by knowing.
Yeah, and judging a little bit by how the climbers performed in previous rounds, but you also shouldn't get carried away too much.
Yeah.
Because, to give you an example, a lot of the climbers that we know are very strong, we watched them climb in the qualifying round, and they didn't look like they were giving it all. And if we fell victim to this presumption, we would have made the semis and the finals harder. We would have made the rounds easier, and then they would be too easy.
Yeah.
So it's sort of...
It's a thin line.
It's a thin line. The lines are very thin.
Very well done for
Yeah.
Jan. I keep repeating this word thin line because it is. It is. You need to be spot on with the difficulty level.
Half a finger of a hold positioning is a big change.
Yeah.
Tilt a hold by half a finger, and it's not like you move it. You change the angle. You move one edge down by half a finger, and this can make an impossible boulder a boulder that's too easy.
But isn't it great about bouldering competitions that because comparing to other sports, for example, I mean, because of the fact that the boulders need to be different each time on every competition, so the number of possible outcomes is basically infinite. It makes it so interesting to watch because every comp is different. There's no sort of things on repeat, like in some sports. You get to watch better and better sports performances, but let's say that it's all about timing, for example. And here it's so complex. I mean, that would, for me, why climbing is so interesting to watch. That the number and the option of movements that can be introduced by the route setters it's really infinite. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting that you bring this up because on the one hand it's infinite, but on the other we still operate within a certain frame of standard,
like boundaries.
And I would say none of the blocks that we're watching right now is anything that we haven't ever seen before. A triple dyno is something that's been around climbing competitions for a decade probably, and so are no-hand boulders.
So, talking about Bianca's performance, easy.
But the thing is, it may be a move similar to something that you've seen on a different competition, but it will never
be
feels
exactly
the same.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So it never feels the same. You may have jumped a triple dyno 100 times in your life, and obviously that gives you a good basis of understanding of the movement, and then you attempt a new triple dyno and you have a big chance of sticking it in a few tries. But you may honestly take a picture of a boulder and try to copy it, and you may get close, but
it will
it's
never
not going to be the same.
It will never be exactly the same.
So there was a little story of the Japanese team employing international route setters to copy problems from either World Championships or the Olympics, and they had, very accurate measurements taken, pictures, whatnot, everything. The route setters flew over to Japan, set the blocks, and they said, "Oh, mate, but it's not the same. They are easier."
That's a nice one.
And obviously, the higher the level of the competition, the harder it is.
Good. That's
to recreate the perfect feeling.
That's a perfect story to visualize that.
The higher the level of the competition, the smaller the margin of error.
Edward Gruzitis topped out with no problem on the boulder number 3. So we have two clear leaders before the last boulder. It's Ido Fidel from Israel and Edwards. And it looks like they will battle it out on the boulder number 4, which... according to what you said, might turn out to be the hardest.
Well, it's actually funny. I would want to go back into the men's chart, but they both scored 3
for all involved. And here we go. We get a glimpse of boulder number 4. And now I know when you said that everything will happen on this boulder, because clearly this one might be the one that requires most of strength, and we'll see who will take the title here.
Yeah, super powerful problem for men, and for ladies is coordination. Really odd movement.
Because the ladies number 4, it's on exactly the same spot as men's number 2.
Yes. And it's been slightly rebuilt.
So the volumes...
And the movement is completely different.
But the volumes stayed, right? Or the volumes were changed?
The grey volumes stayed, but instead of smearing on friction, they are using proper footholds.
So, traveling in time again to last year. Coming back to the boulders number 4, because correct me if I'm wrong, but last year boulders number 4 for women was also in this spot, but was also adjusted. I'm trying to touch on this, risky decisions when it comes to route setting again.
If I'm not mistaken, it was the men's problem.
Yeah, there was a men's problem.
Men's problem, and they had to run along the wall.
Yes.
And fall and land in a position where they were clamping a volume with
all on their
both feet. Yeah.
But would you consider this movement that we are witnessing now on the women's, would you call it a risky shot?
As high risk?
Yeah. Would you call it a high risk, judging based on what happened last year?
It's moderately high risk. We watched the girls perform similar types of movement during the national team qualifiers, and we had a bit more ground to believe that this will be fine for their level.
I like to call
maybe
it.
Not all of them.
I have a perfect word for that. We call it an educated guess.
Educated guess. Yeah, absolutely. It's an educated guess, and it's
the
a good
difficulty proves to be the spot on difficulty.
But yeah, like normally,
we can see that Natalia is failing to hit the right footstep on the precise spot. Let's see if, she's.
Yeah, with the women's lache, it's sort of the difficult part is understanding the direction of the move, because when you look at the positioning of the feet, you have a feeling like you want to go, you want to move, and you want to. So you want to initiate the first part of the force along the wall, but this is a mistake. You actually want to generate the force to go into the wall, and as your weight is pushing you into the volume,
just lean on the right.
Then you start moving to the side. And this is something that took, like us in the team, it took us quite some time to understand. So in that sense, it is a risky decision. And since this is all educated guessing,
what at the time will be enough.
In 10 minutes, we may realize that the move was actually too much, and it never got any tops. But early to tell right now. So maybe it's just going to be perfect. Who knows?
It might be perfect, because when you think about it, I mean, you only need one to figure it out.
Yes. Yeah, one top is definitely enough.
That's the idea. I mean, one top would be enough to pinpoint the winner.
Especially in a round where there have been already quite some tops.
I mean, exactly. I mean, this is a final round that nobody can really, turn around and say, hey, we didn't see many or enough tops. I mean, we've seen plenty of tops. I mean, now it's all about whether we can get the perfect results. Because the show defends itself, I would say. I mean, it is pleasant to watch. You can see Fadir just going across.
Yeah.
He needs to oh my God, this is very interesting for Fadir. If he can do it this way, he did the American style. I'm not sure. Have you ever thought that it can be done this way?
I don't think anyone.
This is really good for Fadir. He's so strong. I mean, you can see. Can he get out of this position now? He can not 100%, but oh my God, the way.
Not before I saw it. Oh my days!
Always,
that is a scratched shin.
Always surprised. Yeah, there's. But funny enough, he looked in control all the way up.
Yeah,
it's not like he pulled off something impossible. He just controlled every single movement.
In case you haven't noticed, the guy is a beast.
He is.
he's a very good climber.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely. It's got some gas in the tank still, so we will see another good effort. He's just about to kick off for another attempt.
Yeah, I think Maya bust her shin.
So he's probably gonna go again this way.
Yeah, definitely.
Is he? Yes, he's doing exactly the same thing because that's his way.
That is.
He
got tangled up.
Yes.
Yeah. The arm only twists one way. Or can
Something
only
happened
twist as
to
much.
Maya.
She bust her shin on the volume.
Oh, so the judge,
missed the foothold
the
and
judges probably told her to tape it off because
you're forbidden to climb if you're bleeding.
Yeah, these are the usual competition rules. That if you're bleeding, you should not climb. So you have to cover the wound.
Oh, she's so close to sticking. I just really hope she has enough time to at least get the zone, man.
Yeah, you can see the hip flexibility helps her. I mean, she's going really close to the wall, and she's almost
so close.
to death. Fedir's again doing the same thing. That looks really, really well for him. Can he do again this movement? He just need to get into this hold and just compose and compression move. Release the right foot. Come on, Fedir. You can do it. You can do it. Yes. Will we see the top? Because that would twist the results a little bit. Because it's not an easy problem at all. Can he do it? No.
Oh, mate.
What a shame. This was so close for him.
And he deserved.
I mean, he deserved that top for what he showed us on this boulder. That would be so good if he topped it out. But hey, 30 seconds to go. I mean, if he can pull that sequence once again, I'll be amazed.
All right,
I mean,
26 seconds is
that would be really something
time.
if he could. But he did it twice, but it costs energy. I mean, it must cost energy. But it's for him. It's almost like he learned that sequence. Look, he just. Look. He will have another chance. No.
Yeah, these competitors, they learn very quickly.
Fedir Samoilov from Ukraine. Really well done. I mean, put on a great show. So he definitely satisfied some of the spectators' expectations. This was great to watch. And talking about the different expectations of different stakeholders of a comp like that. Organizers want a great show, want the crowd to be pleased, and this sort of performances like Fedir please the show, and hence this is the result that maybe not the result that he would expect. He would be happy to top it out, but hey, the crowd loved it. Marketa Janosova, Slava Krasnoperov, and their last 4 minutes of Mood Masters 2025.
If I'm honest, I think gym owners, they just want to have a lot of attendance. I have a feeling that whenever hosting a comp, when I'm hosting a comp in my gym.
You mean the competitors?
Yeah. I want to have as many people sign up for the competition as I can.
Yeah.
And then as a chief route setter, I think my prime goal is to have a good show. Then I think the event organizers,
But doesn't it all work together? I mean, you would love to. I mean, it can all be achieved. All of those goals. A perfect comp would have it all. You know, number of competitors, 1,200, almost 1,200, hitting 1,200. This is like record. Great finals.
Yes, to a
boulders.
certain extent. We just have to bear in mind that high-level competitions usually aren't the most attended ones. I mean, this is in a sense this is an exception because it's a high-level competition with big finals, and yet there are 1,200 people signing up. But if you only had a competition with high-end level athletes and super hard boulders, I don't think you would.
You would have so many competitors.
Yeah. I don't think you would exceed 400 people.
But isn't it the?
So these are the first dishes. Oh look, there goes the lashe.
Isn't the sort of key to success of this comp because it's so open? And it's not really limiting itself to the pro climbers, but actually it's open to all the relaxed climbers and the more amateur climbers. Then the approach of all-round climbers is so positive for this comp, because they don't have this feeling that they're being left out, or the qualis is only for the hard boulder, hard climbers.
Yeah, definitely.
But they get so much climbing offered to them as well that their expectations are fully catered. They leave the building.
I would
super
like to
happy
draw your
and satisfied.
attention, if you get a chance, to the beautiful
Marketa Janusowa.
left foot turn. So when she initiated the movement and she was standing up on her left foot on the little jib on the volume, the left heel was outside, and then she knew she has to transfer the weight in the left foot
This is the remarkable
and move
progress.
the heel to the inside, and then the hip position changes. And these little things are utmost crucial.
Marketa Janusowa showing some magic here on the slab on the boulder number 4.
Maybe we'll get another chance to watch this. So as she stands up, the foot is tilted to the left. As she is up, she moves the foot.
Slava's trying to release, and he decided to finish. It's early to say, but he's looking at his fingers. The fact that he's finishing, he may not want to. For some reason, he decided to give up because, remember I mentioned on the boulder number 3, his face showed some grime. Perhaps maybe he hurt his finger a little bit. He decided not to try anymore. We will see if his score in a moment. But this is it for Slava. Well done to Slava.
And
well
so
done
for
to
Marketa.
Marketa. And
really good effort for Marketa. She was the first person to stick the lache, and she was working up.
The zone she got on the number 4, that will definitely improve her score. But let's wait. We're almost there. There's a few climbers left. In a moment, we'll see Barbara Wójcik and Ido Zizou Fidel from Israel.
So in a perfect world, we only have one men's top on number 4.
I mean, I can already say, if Ido tops out number 4, that would he would win the comp basically. Let's see if Ido can pull it off. But this boulder seems to be his style. You can see the way he moves. This is the sort of
this was confident.
He was very confident,
bordering
on
on arrogant.
Maybe
that
slightly
was,
too confident.
Yeah,
he decided
that was too much.
He decided to campus this move.
And we did try campusing the slopers, and it's at least 35-degree overhang, so the holds are.
But is
poor.
it doable?
Is it doable?
Probably.
Maybe for a Japanese team climber. Yeah, Kokoro Fuji was famous for a great slopey campusing skills. Maybe he would, but
let's not underestimate Ido.
Let's not underestimate.
Give him
for sure.
Some trust in Ido.
And Basia sticks the lache
Basia,
third go, very quickly.
Very quickly. And
sorry guys, we're just busy chatting, and sometimes an attempt or two they just slip our attention.
The action is happening in front of our eyes.
But luckily we have all the fantastic technology to rely on.
We can
in terms of count on
repeats
the numbers.
as well.
Okay, well, Ido,
the time is
he doesn't seem to will to use his feet.
2 minutes 20 seconds. Basia, well done.
Yeah.
This movement is a complex one, but it doesn't look like that to her. She easily tackled this sequence.
I honestly can't stretch enough how important the left foot placement is in reaching that foothold. Yes. If the foot is somewhat tilted, like if the toes are tilted to the inside and the heel is outside, you don't have any reach inside your hip. And that way, applying any force onto the thumb press and reaching the right foothold,
it will not work.
Just
amazing.
Gets really hard.
Yeah.
And then what you can do is, you see, this is instinctive, and she twists the foot.
Ido, come on. He will try to use his feet a little bit now. He lost
Maybe
the
the
heel.
reason he's not using his feet is because he just can't use them.
Let's not jinx it.
Yeah, so comparing
it's still possible for him. Barbara again, she clearly learned this move. She just needs to progress slightly further.
Hand swap would help, I think.
Come on, guys. 40 seconds.
40 seconds.
It looks well for Ido. Can he somehow keep the feet? Because it's all about keeping the feet. There we go.
Maybe he is a little bit too large for the box.
He will try again.
He looks like his body is just too big.
20 seconds. What, he decided to call it a day? I think so. I think he decided to call it a day. 15 seconds. Yeah. Thank you very much, Zizou Fidel from Israel. All he can do now is to wait for the other climbers to finish. And same for Barbara.
Okay,
Barbara
so
currently
2 more to go.
Currently second. There's only 2 more couples of climbers.
Yeah, 2 more to go and no tops as far.
But that was the idea, right? I mean, you would ideally want just a single top.
Yes.
It can still be done, so
Yes.
we can still have this perfect sort of route cities outcome. Maya, Alexei and Jan Svent.
It's still in the open.
Is that gonna be their moment to sort of shine on the last boulder of
we can only hope for the
Masters
best.
25? It's a shame because Ido looked really composed and sort of. I'm still mostly impressed by what Fedir did and the way he controlled this sequence. But let's look at what Jan's gonna come up with, because we've seen remarkable
Maya's
stuff.
Skill.
Maya's
slab and coordination.
amazingly got spot on the foot placement. And the same here. This foot is a tiny foothold, guys.
It's
you may
a
not
bad foothold,
you may not see it, but this is like really tiny. So she needs to go across now, holding and then.
So what we're seeing is the route setter's intended method. In case you were wondering,
it looks like that.
Yes,
And,
you have the right hand crimp. You undercross with your feet, and then you take off the right foot.
And you still need to hit that right foot step
generate
in
a
order
bit
to
of a
stop the
pogo
momentum.
move, and then you hit the hand hold and the foot hold all in one motion.
I would say it's a really technical and precise boulder.
Yeah, very much so. It's very
Because
complex.
You are required to do sort of semi-dynamic movements, but you have all the way and everything is on the wall to also stop that movement.
Yeah, but this would be a very good example of a movement requiring commitment.
Yeah.
So it's not a jump.
Commitment,
but once you commit
but
into
look
this
at this
move,
movement. You need to grab the hold, and this is executed perfectly. Maya, Alexei, beautiful.
That is so cool.
This is amazing, and you can see how complex that boulder is. How many things, and this is now for Jan looking really well. Can he release the feet? Can he release? No, not this attempt. Next one maybe.
A bit too much force.
But for Maya, I'm not sure if it's too early to say, but she may have secured the win.
Well,
with
that's
that top.
certainly a meaningful top for her.
But let's wait for Bianca. She will come out last, but that definitely puts Maya in a really good position for the overall score. But I would not take that risk of calling the final results. Let's leave it to the judges to publish once the competition is over. I'll take this moment. Jan is resting to mention again the sponsors of the entire event: Black Diamond, T-Wall, Browar, Czech Kumpli, companies like Tree Camp, One Lemon, Agrest, Heartbeat, Mano, Varapo, Szkoła Komedii, Miejsce Komedii, Oshi Drinks, White Oak, Oatly, and the media partners as well. Spinanie.pl, the biggest climbing portal online, and Radio Krakow. This is close for Jan. 35 seconds left. Can he pull it off very last minute? I don't know. Let's hope he can. And he's just about to shoot off for his last ride of Boulder number 4 in Moodmasters 25. Jan, prove us all. Come on. What you did in qualies and semis was extraordinary. Is that going to be enough for a good effort in the final? We'll know in 4 minutes after Bianca Janecka and Edward Gruzitis, the finalists of Moodmasters 2025. And this is the replay of great effort for Maja Oleksy on boulder number 4, and a top on a really tricky technical slab dynamic movements. You can see it worked perfectly. All the footsteps and the top and the match. And the happiness on Maja's face. Clearly must be satisfied with that effort. Bianca Janecka on the left, Edward Gruzitis, the winner, the Moodmaster from 2 years ago, trying to claim the victory yet once again. And they both on the wall. Can we see the only top on the men's boulder? And can we see second top on the boulder for women from Bianca? Don't get me wrong, Kuba, but it looks like this sequence, this Fedir sequence, proves to be the sequence for this boulder.
Look at this,
that's
man.
How it looks.
Oh my gosh.
And
so much power.
And be honest with me. I mean, have you even tried it this way? Or you haven't even tried it this way?
No, if I'm honest, we initially built a slightly different beginning to that problem, and then today morning we had a second phase of testing, and we had invited Jotam Menrauven to give us a hand with assessing the difficulty, and he made a suggestion that the boulder probably has a little bit too long of an intro.
Okay.
And we rebuilt the beginning, but in the process, I don't think anyone has actually tried this, and I think it's
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely the smoothest transition. But in the setting world, the two-finger pocket is something that usually forces a similar type of movement. It's hardly ever you would force a climber to swap your hands on the two-finger pocket. So I think a lot of these climbers who have experience with international competitions, when they see that hold,
they read it as an introduction to twist the body,
as a twist movement. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. That's actually quite cool when you think about it.
It's a little language you could translate into specific movements, and then if you know the meaning of the language, then you read the sequence and you're like, oh, okay, I'm expected to, just to lock off and turn 180 in this spot, not like keep on swapping hands.
Yeah, I promise you, this will be the last time I will come back to last year. But it looks like, guys, and I'm talking to the entire route setting team, that you did the homework. I mean, it looks like it's a really great set of boulders this year. And we've seen it all. We've seen the tops, we've seen the crazy movements, really interesting movements on the wall. That was really pleasant to watch. Again with Edward's just deliver once more. We would all want this. We would all want that final top on the boulder number 4. Can he do that?
Well, in the name of the setting team, I thank you for your compliment.
Yeah, I mean, it's really well done. The job pretty well done, and that's kudos to Aleksander Romanowski, the chief setter, and his entire team. I know the great responsibility that lies with the chief setter and the sort of shots he calls. At the end of the day, he accepts all the boulders and he decides what stays on the wall, and he takes that ultimate responsibility whether they will work out or not. Come on, Edwards, come on, you can do it. You can do it. This is 5 seconds. Come on, come on, Edwards. Go for it. No. This is unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, he was so close.
We were like seconds away from a perfect outcome.
Half a second.
For a competition, but look, he looks like Edwards still secures the win by the attempt to the zone. Based on the results, assuming they are correct. Assuming they are correct, it will be the attempt that will decide the winner. And for Maya and Bianca, despite lack of the top, something is wrong here, is it? No, Bianca actually is the winner. This year's event, Mood Masters 2025. And I think we will see all the climbers. So 6th place in the women's category, Natalia Bernat, UKA Warszawa. 5th place, Marketa Janosowa, Czech Republic. From Brno, representing Club Bani Karwina. 4th place, Maja Ciesielska, KW Trójmiasto. And we're moving to the podium, top 3. 3rd place of Mood Masters 2025 goes to Barbara Wójcik. And the 2nd place and the runner-up of this year's event, Maja Oleksy, Bouldering Laboratory Tarnów. And the winner and the Mood Master in the women's category for 2025, Bianka Janecka, KW Częstochowa.
Crocs team. Most popular footwear is...
Friendly hugs with all the other competitors. Amazing prices.
Well, someone just got rich.
Well done for Bianca. Great effort. That came the final boulder. It was very close between Maja and Bianca. Small differences. It is Bianca this year that takes the title. And there was a short moment for the photographers, for the media, and we will kick off with the men. The 6th place in the men's category. If I heard right, was it Fedir? We'll know in a moment. Fedir Samoilov, exactly. Fedir Samoilov, 6th place. Fifth place, Tymon Ostafiński, Cliff Tarnowskie Góry.
I think they're all slightly perplexed by the flowers. I think
they weren't expecting the flowers.
An average climber is not a person that receives a bouquet of flowers every other day. And they're like, what is this?
I reckon some women will receive flowers tonight. Fourth place, Jan Spent, UKA Warszawa, 4th place. in Mood Masters 2025. Kisses, kisses.
Yeah, but this really shows nicely what climbing is about. Yeah, they are competing against each other, but at the end of the day, once the competition is finished,
They're all friends. I mean, let's
very
be honest.
friendly.
They all know each
Yeah,
other. Third
yeah.
place this year. Slava Krasnoperov. Third place. And the second place. And the runner-up for this year's event from Israel, Ido Zizou Fidel. Great effort, great performance. It again was very close on the last boulder, but in the end, it is him, it is the veteran, it is the defending title from 2023, fourth place last year, 2024, and the winner again in 2025. The one we know all, it's Edvard Gruzitis from Latvia. Well done. Falkors. This is the club he's representing. 21 years old, Mood Master 2025.
Whoa.
And hey, we are left only with the... We want to thank all of you who watched, all the spectators online, all the spectators in the venue, all the sponsors, all the people involved in the competition, and last but not least, all the route setters. And I will keep saying that these are the hidden heroes of comps like this.